Good afternoon, Watchers. I am Brandy, your host for Watchers Live. At Watchers Live, we highlight trailblazers in their industries and, of course, give advice to the next generation. We're here with a very special guest, Famous. Famous, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining. You're actually one of the first artists overseas that we have featured on our platform.
Oh man, appreciate it. I feel blessed.
Okay, perfect. So, Famous, tell us, where are you from?
Originally, from Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact and specific. But my I come from a Caribbean background, so I like even though I grew up in America and all that, but I didn't really our like morals and stuff is a little bit different than the American culture. So
Okay, that's cool. You want to tell us a little bit more about the Caribbean background?
I mean, from the uh, it's a lot of lessons that Caribbean parents. I think they just like want the best for you and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I feel like we just have a very positive spirit, and like even if we don't have a lot, we could take a small thing. I think Jamaican people as a whole, we take like something small and like expand it out.
Oh, okay. So your parents are Jamaican.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, love it, love it. All right, so welcome. All right, in that case, how has that reflected in your music? Does your Caribbean background show up in your music, or is it just strictly American?
It does like I wouldn't say like do I have like dance hall sounding songs?
Yeah, or
Yeah, but when I
influences.
you know but I would say the Jamaican culture, especially in music, has impacted my music a lot when it comes to like you know just certain sound effects in dance hall that samples because
Hey,
as an artist I make my own beats, I make my own production, so
that's really cool.
whether it's like sound effects, this is like a cheesy sound effect. A lot of people use it, like the typical Jamaican air horn. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I go beyond that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so like just little things, little sayings, patois slang and stuff like that, and this little thing I always implement in my music, not just the song that that you heard and stuff like that. So I think
Yes.
Jamaican culture, because I'm mainly a hip hop artist, but
Hmm.
Jamaican to me, a lot of people may disagree, but you know, Jamaican started hip hop, maybe not like advanced it to what it is today, but
Yeah.
it's if you listen to hip hop and dancehall, it's very similar. The only thing is mostly really popular is being
It's true,
spoken. You know what I mean?
especially with the clashes and stuff. Like I've always wanted to highlight that, but we're gonna get to that because of course it's about famous. So we want to hear
Yeah,
about famous because I love the name, I love the insight you gave on your background. But the famous, what stood out to me, it was spelled with PH and not
yeah.
F. So how do you get the name?
Actually, it's really pronounced famous, but some
Okay.
people do say famous, but it's at first it's like it's weird how that name came to be.
Hmm.
So at first, my real name is Adam. So then it turned from Adam to Amos. You understand? And then I was like,
Hmm.
I didn't really like that, and then it became Pharaoh Amos, meaning like king. And then I said, let me just combine it.
Oh,
It kind of doesn't correlate to what it sounds like, but it's like that's just how it came to be. So
no, that's cool. So the
you
name
know,
evolved. So is your real name Adam then?
yeah, my birth name is Adam.
Okay. All right. So I would see how it would evolve then. Because I'm like, I thought it was famous. Okay,
Yeah,
famous. So we know you're from Florida, but could
yeah.
you tell us a little bit more? Where exactly did you grow up and how was the sound of music where you were? What did you grow up around?
Well, pretty much like it's the Broward County area, like pretty much the Davie area. This pretty much Fort Lauderdale, just all through that, and then like there's an area, even nobody would know what these areas is, but I lived in like areas like Margate and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Nobody really like knows what it is. It's not that popular. Everybody just knows
Hmm.
Fort
Yeah,
Lauderdale,
what's like the music
that.
scene there? The music scene there,
The
what is that?
music,
What is like?
you know, grow. Well, you talking about like growing up into the
Like,
scene, or
yes,
just like how it is
overall,
now?
because we're getting into your history. So the music you grew up, how it influenced what you create now.
Well, I'll give you like two sides. Like, as far as like, when I was growing up, music that used to be played in my household, we used to have a lot of dancehall and reggae artists, Buju to obviously Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and all them, like all of all the greats and stuff like that. So I grew up with that, but going like hanging with my friends and stuff like that. They didn't really it wasn't really into dancehall. They was mostly into hip hop. So like during those times, it was like I don't know if like Trick Daddy was popping then, and Florida was just starting to become a name, and then like after a while, like Rick Ross and people of that nature started coming
Okay,
out.
yeah,
But like
I got it.
but that was kind of like what drove me like the music scene growing up.
Yes.
Now it's a bit different, it's a lot of different creative stuff being out in Florida and stuff like that.
Okay, so in that case, then, since you know the background, what inspired you to start creating music?
It's like I don't know. Music's like been in my family. I'll say this: the first thing that kind of motivated me, like my cousin, I had a cousin named Marlon Brando. They had a group called Sporty Thieves, and they you ever heard the song No Scrubs?
Yeah, I want that one.
You ever, yeah, you ever heard the song No Pigeons?
No.
It was like an answer. The song went gold. They had it was like a remix of No Pigeon, of No Scrubs. It was called No Pigeon. So it was like kind of like an answer back to the TLC song No Scrubs and stuff like that. So my cousin, he had his video playing. At the time when you was a kid, you see like stuff on MTV. You're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Him doing like shows in various places, and I think they had a song. There's a movie from the '90s called The Best Man. They had a soundtrack in the song. So, but like unfortunately, his life was like kind of cut short. So, but that was like kind of motivation for me to when you see like your big cousin do something. To me, that's something great. That's something that extraordinary.
Yeah,
You know,
because No
always
Scrubs
say
is
that.
a hit. So for the follow-up to do good as well, that's really inspirational. So for you, you got into music. You were inspired by your cousin then.
Yeah, so my whole family,
Mhm.
has dealt with music and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that, and when you see somebody that personally go out and get it, it kind of motivates. Like, hey, man, I think I could do that. So that's pretty much what it is. And I have other influences. One of my favorite, like, because I'm a producer as well. One of my favorite producers. A lot of people might not like him, but like I look up to Kanye a lot. As production and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and that kind of got me into making my own beats because production is expensive. Like the if they're doing it correctly, the average beat could be anywhere from 500, 10,000 or more. So I was like, hey, it's kind of expensive. Like especially when I was first making music, I'm like, hey, let me just make it myself. At first it wasn't good, but then over time, but yeah, that's pretty much my influences and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So I get it now because I would feel very inspired if my cousin did something that grand too. It couldn't stop me. So now I
Yeah.
want to know how it felt like getting into music, etc. So do you remember the first song you've ever recorded?
Um, Cause I was like in high school. I don't exactly. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was like kind of I do remember it. Dang, I don't even have those songs at all. I don't even know because that was like older computers. But I do remember it, but I don't remember like bar for bar, word for word exactly what I said though. But I do remember it was. I think it was the most it was the best experience. Even though it
Okay.
wasn't good, like the song wasn't really good, but I think it
But
was
that's just a part of the creative journey. It's just how you start and then you evolve. So in that case, that song, did you record it in a home-based studio, studio
that was a
outside of your house?
that was a straight up like we did it the hood way, man. Just plug it up to the computer, man, and go. But
Oh, that's
from that,
cool. All right, so you
I
you
went.
mentioned okay, so basically did you grow up in the hood then? Because I'm trying to
No, no, no,
make
no. Why men like that? Like we just did it like the easy the cheapest way possible to start off.
Mhm.
Like, nobody like
Yes. I
who
had to
starts off in $100,000 studio? You don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
You
had
know,
to. I had to
but I
because
would
okay. Because what I
yeah,
realized, I'm trying to make what I've been trying to do, like throughout the conversation, get to know you and also make the connection with your audience and the Jamaican audience. Because usually that's how our artists start to what them call it the getaway. You just have a studio and you just get to the cheapest thing. So that's how it
yeah,
usually happens. So for you to say that, it kind of just clicked. Okay, so
yeah,
that was your first ever song. All right. The single you have out now, I don't know why.
yeah.
What inspired that single to come about?
All right. Obviously, it's a remix from a older like an older Jamaican song.
Yeah, I
Which,
don't know why.
what's the
Oh,
other?
this song, I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out the other artist that was on. I can't remember. Is Wayne Wonder? I
yeah,
think
Wayne
it's
Wonder
Buju,
was
and
on
then
it. You
yeah.
wouldn't be. Mhm.
You know, one that is it was I have a couple connections with this song, but
Mhm.
as a child, it was a song that I loved and stuff like that. So I had chopped up the sample and stuff like that. And the
Mhm.
funniest thing, I had the sample and the beat for a while. I mean, a while. I just didn't. I just wasn't like I'm a perfectionist, and I just said, oh, it didn't sound right, it didn't sound right, it didn't sound right. So I just kept working on it. But and then another thing with that song, I don't know if you remember when Buja Banton he said like, I remember when you'd dress up in your One Arrow shirt. One Arrow was it was a clothing company that was owned by my grandmother that lived in Jamaica. Yeah.
So cool. So you really
I,
are connected. That's
yeah.
dope.
So I didn't know that till because I never asked my grandmother that 'cause when I was a kid or something like that. But so that was another extra connection to the song. So I was like, man, I gotta put this out. So and that's pretty much I guess the connection between the song. But like to me, you was asking like the connection between the song
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
why did I put it out?
Yeah, what inspired it?
And then
I'm seeing now that it resonated because, of course, your grandma and then the sample, because it's a really, really good song, guys. Make sure you check it out. Also, remember, this life has been sponsored by Godful and Electrosecure. Go ahead.
yeah. So the main the song I don't know why why you love you. So in face value it just means really talking about a girl and stuff like that. And you don't a lot of people I feel like they give love and show love for like material gain and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people my love like or me I cannot be bought, like what I'm saying. I feel some people can be bought, what I'm saying. But I think true love and true genuine love is like is without any need and material need and stuff like that. Somebody that really got your back, because if somebody that really like you and care about you, they gonna rock with you no matter what. Whether whether you high in the ceiling or you down low. Real people that really love you, what I'm saying. That's what I feel. And then I feel it's like there's a lot of another thing in this world, man. I think it's like it's crazy too. Like people always warring and stuff like that. And I feel like the world needs more love than the ignorant and negative stuff. Because like what really good comes from negativity, and
Nothing good comes from negativity.
some,
Okay, so I understand why you created the song then. So lots of connections, etc. in that case, is this going to be a part of a project? Are you dropping a project soon? What can fans expect from you?
Yeah, it's already the project already released about a month ago. Is an album that I put out called Planet X, and it's definitely on the song and stuff like that. That song is on the album. I mean, and so it's already out, and from what people have heard from it's in the people that listen to my music, they'll tell me if it's like, oh, that's ain't it, that's not, a lot of positive reviews and stuff from the people that heard it and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get together a good promotional push for it, but it's everything is out, so this is what it is.
Okay. Are there, since the album is already out, what other songs can we expect from you? Do you have any unreleased that everyone can get excited about?
For right now, not completely like unreleased songs. I do have, but nothing that's really ready, like as far as like listening wise, nothing at this moment. I do have, what I'm saying, but it's not really polished, for listening. Because like I used to do that. I used to like preview my music a lot, and then I think it takes the suspense,
So you don't
the
want to tease
surprise.
them with it so they can expect it on its own? You don't have a name for it, or we should just wait until we see it?
I'm just trying to. The reason is like, I even like stopped like working on music for a little bit to focus on promoting this project, because I feel like it's important to because like you can record, but sometimes you gotta sell what you just cook. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
feel like I'm just trying to focus on promoting this project and getting these songs to as much people as possible. So that's why, as far as unreleased songs, I didn't really put that much work like for it to be polished and stuff like that.
Okay,
You
so
know.
the focus is Planet X, and I don't
Yeah.
know why it's a part of Planet X. No, what inspired the name of the album, Planet X? Where'd that come from?
It just means, I think the letter X is a powerful letter. The letter X, like if you look at, like algebra and stuff like that, you always find an X. You look on a map, X marks the spot. X is a very powerful letter. It's complete. Also stands for 10. So I think like, and you look at leaders like this, Malcolm X. He's trying to find himself. So for the project, and for me as an artist, you're always trying to find your true self. Because when I first like released stuff like majorly, like I had songs on like radio promotion on like the best radio, satellite radio and all that, and it was doing numbers and stuff like that. But I felt like I was following the crowd instead of being myself. And yeah, I might have got notoriety from it, but it's like you following the crowd, and you should
Yeah,
be
not
following your own lane.
authentic.
So the X for as a personal connection for me is to find out who I am. And I feel like, as far as like any artist you may get, you should try to tell them, find out who you really want to be, who you really are destined. Should you really be there? Should you really be doing that? You understand? Like it just means to find yourself. Planet X really just means to find yourself, and that's what it's about for the most part.
Oh, oh, the meaning is deep. Okay, I like that. All right. So when you were recording the album, putting it together, do you remember the emotions? Was it more so sadness, happiness, love? Like what was going through your head writing and producing? You produced it, right?
Of course.
Yes. Look at that. Multi-talented. So what were the emotions?
Well, the emotion that's actually a good question. The emotions behind it, because it's like, I, honestly, I was just really, I would say I was just very excited and thrilled on making it, because I felt like these songs were like combinations of years of me creating music, just all combined into one. Because mainly I was strictly just make hip hop. So this got, okay, a little bit of dance hall. You
Ooh,
understand?
okay.
A little bit of a little bit of trap, a little bit of like New York hip hop, a little bit of Southern hip hop. So I think it's like it's like a big melting pot. Understand? You taking a whole bunch of ingredients to making something tasty. So that I think it's very thrilling to do that, because a lot of people just stay in one box, and I think my creativity expands out because. And another thing is that I don't even know how much people appreciate Jamaican culture and stuff like that. The out of the project, a lot of people actually preferred the dancehall Jamaican songs more than, not saying they didn't like the American hip hop songs, but
Yeah.
and I'm talking about it's people not even my skin color, our skin color that's liking that. So I'm saying that it made me think a little bit, that's maybe a market that I haven't really messed with, that there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, because dancehall is very niche. So in that case, but of course, you want all audiences because that's how it gets back to the music. So in that case, Planet X, 3 songs from the album, your top 3 songs, so people can listen to them.
I would say the top 3 songs. I'm gonna start with I Don't Know Why,
Yeah.
The World Is Yours, and Dreams.
Ooh, I don't know why the world is yours and dreams. Okay, since we have you here now, because of course we've been talking about I don't know why. Could you give us a little verse from it?
Like just play the song, or the
Okay, what
off
do
the
you
top.
want to do? Do you want to capella
Oh,
or do you want to?
I don't have it. I don't have it kind of memorized the verses.
Yeah.
No, I don't have. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't have the verses memorized right for the world is yours and dreams. No, but I mean, I could play a little bit of it. If that's what that's what y'all want. But I don't have the verses. Off the top of my head. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Okay, no, that's fine then. Okay, in that case, what we'll do, it's on Spotify, YouTube, it's on all streaming platforms.
Yes, exactly.
So guys, make sure you check out the Dreams by Phamous. Now, what would younger Phamous say to Phamous today?
Well, I would say this, man. Like, you gotta put the time in. A lot of people, like, when they try to make music, they try to like go for like a home run hit. Try to make a hit record. I'll say that you need to just make like songs. Like, you need to like lock yourself in the studio and like put in the work. And the create, like, you got to boost that creative side, but you got to know the business side, because you could be as creative as you want to be. There's people 10 times more creative than me or any artist in the top 100. There's artists that would destroy everybody in the top 100, but the business side is a different thing, because it costs bread. So you gotta kind of get your weight up for that. But you gotta be careful, because I've been around some people that finesse me out in the business. You understand? They're
Oh,
sharks. They're sharks out here. You understand? When you messing with top tier people, top tier networks, you understand? There's sharks out there. You understand? Even like going to labels, they're sharks. Remember this. Yes, music is fun, but it's about business. So I would tell my younger self, study the business, everything that you known about. There's things I would like, also like with publishing and stuff. Like, I've lost money, had songs on radio, and I wasn't getting everything I was supposed to collect. So I think knowing the business is almost more, not maybe more important than the creative side, but you should focus some attention on the business side. And don't be afraid to try, whether it's something that's out of your area, or don't be afraid to fail. Because the best and the biggest people fail. But if you don't learn, you ain't gonna earn. So
That's a
That's
good
my
one.
advice.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let us know also what has been the most rewarding part of your career so far. A moment where Famos was like, I'm doing amazing. I love this. I'm very proud of myself. You want to share the story?
Well, I would say just, I had a lot of moments, interviews like, I had like This Is 50 interview, radio play. I think like getting radio play, going from like, to me as a kid, that was kind of like a dream, yo, if I could just get my music on radio and, all these other type of networks. I think, to me that's the biggest highlight. But I would say, to me, I'm actually just proud of like the most recent project that I put out. I think it's just, and I know a lot of artists be like, oh man, this album's my best work. Oh, this album my best work. You know what I mean? But I think like I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I spent like years. I spent like a year and some time working on a project. So a lot of times like it was a like I had a previous project before this, and I was working on Planet X before I released that project. So because like I didn't want to rush it. So this is something that I was really proud of, and like this is an album that's like very sacred to me. So I would say like even though getting those type of exposures, is huge for like for artists to get rotation and stuff like that. I think this the creating. I know like this is maybe something that people will just like say, oh, I got an award or this or that, or a feature from this artist. I'm just really proud of this project because it took me some time, and I think it came out right. It came out better than I thought it would come out after, because when you create something and then you like mix something, you don't know how it could like sway from your original idea, because it's a
Yeah.
lot of making music is a lot of things that as far as the creative side, that sometimes you may not like a song afterwards, so. But yeah, to me, Planet X is probably what I'm the most proud of at this current time.
Okay, thank you so much. I love the fact that you're passionate about it because throughout the interview, I can see that it's literally your prized possession. And the top three, let them know it again. And guys, make sure you stream Planet X out now on all streaming platforms. Tell them the three songs to really look out for.
I
I
don't know
don't know
why.
why.
Dream,
Dreams.
and the world is yours.
The world is yours. Thank you so much for this, Phamous. We are very glad to have you here today. Could you just let them know your social media platforms where they can follow you and check out your music, of course?
Yeah, all the social media platforms is under one name, is Phamous Universe, Phamous, and then Universe
Mhm.
Universe, and through Twitter, Instagram, and every social media handle there is. That's where you can find me. And obviously Planet X is out, so that's what it is, man.
And thank you so much, Phamous. It was a pleasure having you here today. And guys, remember this live has been sponsored by Lecture Secure Jamaica and Gutful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stream Planet X out now on all streaming platforms.
Thank you so much.